Good afternoon, Arsenal and Albert JTV community. We have a special guest joining me for the match review of Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0. But before we get into it, people, let's smash the intro. And I can see the logic behind the signing, even though some Arsenal fans...
We actually worked a good passage of play.
Arsenal and footballing community, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to Albert JTV. Good afternoon, Arsenal community. On a Thursday late afternoon in the Albert JTV household with a special guest. I just about made it, and yet I wasn't planning to wear what I'm wearing right now, as you see me, YouTubers and Facebookers, but because I saw Judges doing a stream on his own channel, I thought, you know what, in homage to the main man, Judges, aka the Judge, I thought I'd wear a hat for him as well, man, to look all nice and festive. But Judges, absolute pleasure. I not had you on actually, and I double checked it. I triple checked it actually since February this year, so it's been overdue. But Judges, how are you, mate?
I am all good, thank you very much. Very, very well. Listen, when Arsenal beat Man United, the next day I'm always going to be very, very good. I
hope you let KG and Flex know if you manage to bump into.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this now. I didn't with Flex because he's a lot. He's a very humble sort of guy, you know what I mean. But KG, I'll give it to him, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it deserves. Yeah, let the tears cry away. Just let you know, people. This drink I've got in my hand right now, as you're watching, it is actually Ribena. It's not Man United tears. Just let you know that. But Judge, let's get into it because I want you to get a nap as well, man. You're a busy man. But listen, this is a different United side over a few years that have come to the Emirates, and I'll be honest with you, mate. It's some of the worst United sides I've seen in the last 3 years before that game yesterday. But what's your thoughts sort of coming into the game? You saw the team line up, no Gabriel, no Calafiore. Worried, reasonably happy, can get by. What's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I did think we could get by. I thought Kivior was okay in there, listen, I think, because we was at home, it's a different sort of a game at home, different sort of defending. You're sort of defending a little bit more concentrating. It's not like pumping balls in and physical thing. It was like, the way they set up as well was very, very defensive. So it wasn't like that they was going to get at us too much. So I felt it was all right there. I thought Zinchenko would do okay, and he did okay up until the end, if I'll be honest. Excuse me. But once he made that mistake, he does that every bloody game, like that one thing, like we're 1-0 up. I don't know why he does it, but he did, and it caused us a little bit of a problem. Got sent, he got booked before he could get sent off or whatever. I thought it was good managing. Got Timber over there, and we shut him off. But listen, I thought it was a difficult game for us. I think that, I know what you're saying, that Man United's the worst team that Man United have had for a long while. And I've never seen a Man United team go with tactics where they've left out their best players to just nullify us. But I honestly believe if they'd have played their more attacking players, I think we'd have opened them up at will. And I think he knew that. Because when you look back on it, when he made the changes, we was all over him. It could have been 4 or 5 then, where the way he played in the first half, it wasn't like that. But listen, what I enjoyed about the game and the performance was that we how can I say it? Showed a different side to us. We had to go down a different route to win this game, and we did. And the set pieces again done the business. But we had some good chances after that, and then we just ground them down, I've seen good teams in the past do that, like a Chelsea in their pomp, and even Man United just grind teams down, and you think we won. But what's great about that game is 2-0, tick it off, Man United, difficult game, 3 points in the bag, well done Arsenal. That's how I look at it.
Mm. So, judges, sort of going back to the first half, I'll be honest. You can never tell how a first half's going to go, but um, I don't know for myself. I don't know how you felt, but sort of looking at it, I had a good seat. I had a good seat yesterday, judges. Actually,
Where was you? Where was you?
I was halfway line where the players come out. Oh, so yeah, so the ex
What,
pros
lower or upper?
lower center, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's beautiful. Got to see all the prestigious ex-footballers and the journos, the broadcasters, all there. I felt in good company, to be honest with you, judges. I've got to be
well
truthful.
done, and deserved.
I do try, but yeah, judges. That first half was a strange one for me, man. I thought we let them have a lot of the ball, to be honest, mate. If I'm going to be really, really truthful, it just didn't. There's been a fair few game season where it hasn't clicked for Arsenal, but I was a little bit surprised how that first half went. Was you quite surprised how United set up, or they were structured a lot better from what I've seen when they've come into the Emirates the last 2-3 years? Was that your thoughts, or how do you think the first half?
Yeah. Surprised, yes. I was surprised. I thought that they would have might have. I know it's a new manager and all that, like, and they've just won 4-0. Maybe they could have gone a little bit more for it. But when you look at that, he's probably looking at it and thinking, do you know what? Get a draw out of this game. I'll take that. I don't know, but it really offers a lot. Like, it was the worry for me is, it's going to end 0-0. My mate turned around and says it's got 0-0 written all over it. And that was the worry. But once we got the goal, I felt them confident that we could go on and win the game. And other than, funny enough, they created 2 chances in the whole game through set pieces themselves and they didn't take them. So, listen, it was a good result for us in the end. And that was what it was all about yesterday. I don't care about how well we played. Yes, I would have loved to have beaten them and all that. But knowing that Liverpool dropped points, knowing that City had won, knowing that Chelsea had won, it was just so important. It was just getting the result, getting over the line, and that's what we've done. And that, credit to the players.
Yeah, because even in the first half, I know we didn't sort of cut them open or create a lot of chances, but I find with Arsenal, even though there's been games this season, judges, where we haven't created a lot, we have still managed to get a chance to go 1-0 up before half time. You had the party header, he's got to score that.
Yeah.
And then you had the chance with Martinelli. And with me, judges, you're probably the same as well, but obviously, when you're at the games and you see it instantly, you're like, oh, we should have scored or whatever. But I always say to people, always watch the replay, watch it back, and then you can be even more critical. Or you might think, actually, you know what, that's a bit of a tougher chance to make. But I thought Martinelli should have done a bit better. But I want to come on to him quickly, judges. Actually, I sort of kind of not negative, but necessarily just analyzing what I see with him, and not just what I saw yesterday, but I'd say probably the last 12, 18 months, if I'm going to be honest with you. Where are you at with him? Because I think even some of the most sort of staunch Arsenal fans that are really, really behind him, by the way, let me get that in there. And we all want him to do well, but I'm watching a player, Lee, and when he gets a perfect example in the second half, when I think Declan Rice is put it through. Yeah. And I was watching him go through and I thought, it kind of ended up the way I thought it would end up with him. I wasn't convinced, so I didn't have the confidence he was gonna at least work the goalkeeper, if not score. What's your thoughts then as you see them this season particularly?
Starting to worry me now.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of his, as you well know.
Like,
And listen, his work rate and his defending was fantastic and everything like that. But yesterday, and I know exactly the thing you're on about. It was about the first 2 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
If he goes past his man there, he's on goal. And he didn't do it. And I think he got a corner out of it, didn't he? If I remember rightly, I think that he...
Yeah, he tried to cut in on his right and then he tried to bend it in.
Yeah, I can't really remember what happened, if I'll be honest. But I remember turning around to my mate and saying, that was disappointing. That was disappointing. He's got to do better there. That's what I said. I said he's got to do better there, and I think that he should have done better there, if I'll be honest, and he didn't. So from that point of view,
it's hard. Listen, it is hard. I know you like him.
But he has, what for the first time yesterday, I got home yesterday and watched Match of the Day highlights, and I watched the Newcastle-Liverpool game, then the Arsenal game, then went to bed. I see Anthony Gordon doing what he was doing on the left-hand side, and I thought, that's what we want. Now, Martinelli was doing that and better 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's not just, I think maybe it's something now that Mikel's got to get hold of him and give him some confidence and whatever, because I don't think it's helping him playing one game, then not the next, and then playing one game, then not the next, coming off. Whether, I've seen him score and be playing really, really well, coming off. I think that, Mikel's got to manage it a little bit better. Otherwise, we're going to lose what was potentially a fantastic talent.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, Judges, because you make a great point. You took the words out of my mouth, Judges. I'll forgive you though, with because I look at wingers in the league or wide forwards, whatever the bloody hell you want to call them. I look at Callum Hudson-Odoi. I look at Anthony Gordon you just mentioned. I look at Kudos at West Ham. There's one more winger I forgot, but it's completely gone out of my head. And I'm seeing them affect games consistently, decision-making, goals. And I think for me, the biggest thing, I've always said this with him, Judges Martinelli, is that, and I always go back to these people. If you want to go back and watch it, you can do. We played Man United last season at Old Trafford. We won 1-0. Erdegaard puts him through. And he got the shot off, and people remember that, Nana tipped it over the bar. But if you actually watch Martinelli closely, Judges, not once in that passage of play did he get his head up and look. And still, I think at this age now,
should be doing that.
It's not about development. To me, at his age now, he should be already at that stage because he's not a kid. And I take your point what you're saying in terms of Mikel's got a sort of maybe. I actually think he's played him a lot more than I thought it, if I'm going to be honest, Judges. But I don't know if there's an epiphany moment or a light switch where or whatever Mikel's saying to him, but a lot of it does come down to him, because I just think for a player that plays in his position, Judges, he should have a lot more. I need to go and check it actually. People in the chat, when you watch it or we watch it back, what his stats are in the Premier League since he joined Arsenal. Because it should be probably a lot higher than it should be. But it is a concern, Judges, because I think if there's one player, sorry, I'm going to bring in Judges. There's one player I think that is, and I hate the term, but I'm going to say it just because it's fresh in my head, who might be surplus to requirements in the sort of core 12, 13 players at Arsenal in the first team, would be him.
Yeah, and I get that, what you're saying there. I think he's dropped off in his stats have dropped off quite a bit, like, and listen, confidence is I remember the game against, you probably should have scored against Chelsea in the first half. Then he scores in the second half, and you can see him. He was really, really playing very, very well, and then he got took off. If he scores that chance, which he does in the first half of that game there, then I think you see a different Martinelli. I think there's a lot of confidence in it's not happening at the moment for him. I just really want him to do well. But in his defence now, he's sitting there today. I don't know if they've had the day off or whatever.
Yeah.
But if he comes in training tomorrow, he's probably going to be left out of Fulham. I'm not saying anything from it there. Saka knows that he's going to be playing against Fulham. Havertz knows he's going to be playing against Fulham. Odegaard knows he's going to be playing against Fulham. Declan Rice knows he's going to be playing against Fulham. You don't know, you know what I mean? He might play against Monaco, he might not. He might play against Everton. I don't think that helps, so it's tough. But you've got to put in a performance. Listen, I think Trossard played really, really well against.
Come on.
He played really well against West Ham, was what I was going to say, and then he was left out. So even if you play really, really well, you can be left out of that position. So Martinelli, don't matter how well he plays, can be left out of that position. And Odegaard will come on now, and he could have a fantastic game against Fulham, but why not play against Monaco? So it's a difficult one. I see a frustrated Trossard as well. I see there's a little bit of things going on with him because he probably feels that frustration as well. Scores and then gets left out. Martinelli, scored and gets left out. And then, so it's a difficult one, but I think that for me, I think Martinelli is getting to that age now. I don't know how old he is now. Is he 23?
23. I think he's 23. I think so.
Yeah, so it's still time, still to learn and all that, like, but he is becoming a concern now. Like. Yeah. I think it is. I think for the first time now, I'm holding my hands up and saying that defensively, I ain't got a problem with it. But I watched that game yesterday, and I felt that they had 3 or 4 players over that side making things happen. Like, you imagine if you had Gordon going down the left-hand side in the form that he's in, or Martinelli of 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Skinning people down, one-on-one situation. The thing is, at this moment in time, I don't think he gets the ball as much as he should. But on one-on-one situations, if you're putting Saka in one-on-one situations, he's going to make things happen.
100%.
Martinelli's on one-on-one situations and not making things happen at the moment.
Well said. Judge, the other winger I was thinking of, it's the tip of my tongue, was Madueke at Chelsea.
Yes, yeah.
Good.
We're all right. So a lot of them are right-sided players, though. Me and Dan was just talking about that. Whereas there ain't that many unbelievable left-sided players, like,
Yeah. No, well said. But Martinelli, hopefully, listen, he could turn it around. There's still hope. But yeah, you're right, judges. For me, I've watched him now for quite a few games this season and a little bit of last season, and it is a bit of a concern. So we'll see how it plays out. But Judge, going back to the game now, goals change games, of course. And Arsenal, as I put Corner King strike again. I saw your beautiful singing yesterday, judges, on the FTV. It was beautiful. But Judge, I've got to say this, obviously being in the stadium yesterday. Times I've been Emirates, you might disagree, I don't know, but there was a point in that stadium yesterday, and we got the first goal. I couldn't believe Timber's not exactly the biggest. He's like 5'10", I think he is, but we'll come on to him a little bit later. But we go 1-0. I thought the atmosphere for about a good 5 or 10 minutes after that goal, Lee, was insane in a good way. It was unbelievable. It was jumping, unbelievable. But judges, we strike again. Corner Kings again, 22 goals from corners going back to last season. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, don't knock it, love it, embrace it. Like, you know what I mean? Like we everybody else is losing their stuff on it. Like, great, that means we're doing something good. And I've got no problem with it. Like, going back to that singing yesterday, like I've gone in the tube today, like like the old ticket inspectors and all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he started singing it, like, set piece again. As I'm going along, the escalator, he's going set piece again. Mad, like,
judges. What station was that? Because you got to be careful where you sing that, mate. I'm going to be honest.
I was at Tottenham Out.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? So there's gooners working there, like, you know what I mean? Fantastic, like, So like set pieces, fantastic, and listen, we could have scored another couple. Tom's party, that's as good as free header that you can ask for, 3 yards out. As a delivery gets to him is incredible, but it does. And then, like, they had one knocked off the line, from I think it was their own player that done it.
Lenny Euro, you're right.
Yeah. And then, like, and I'm thinking, like, how did that stay out and all that, like, so it caused mayhem. The one great thing about it is I think Declan Rice put in, I don't know how many corners yesterday, 7 was it, like, everyone on the button. I think Saka was 6 out of 7. And I urge you today to just, I know I might be wrong on this, but watch one of the games today and we'll see when corners come in. Like, they won't get past the first man, or they'll be over it and all that. It's an absolute art that these two guys can put it on a sixpence like that and make it look easy. But it's certainly not easy. There's a lot of hard work gone into it. And again, what I like about it, there'd be a difference. The last 3 goals that we've scored, all different corners, not the same corner, and it's happening. You know what I mean? They're different. Like the Gabriel run to the near post. Then you look at the next 2 and everything like that. So all different. And I also like, with VAR, don't get involved on a penalty at Liverpool, but they want to get involved in a second goal from a corner, looking for offside, when you can't be offside from a corner, and you also can't be all offside when you're heading the ball back.
Yeah.
But somehow they want to do a VAR check. Very funny, that, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? But they don't want to do a VAR check for a Liverpool game when there's a blatant penalty. Strange,
Yeah.
that.
It is. I mean, I saw it when I was coming home yesterday. I saw quite a few grumbles from the Newcastle fans, and they showed the foot. They showed, you know what I'm going to say. They showed the footage, obviously, of Newcastle going on the attack. I had a conversation with one of my mates earlier, and I said, I don't make up the rule book. I don't ever want to be a referee, and they have it hard enough. It is already. But when we had I think it's the World Cup and Euros, definitely the World Cup. Whatever injury time you got, whether it was 5 minutes, 7 minutes, judges, the minute it's 5 minutes, game's done. Players will live with that. It's fine. But we know consistently in the Premier League, when there's injury time added on, it always goes over. It just does. So
of course. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I'm not a Newcastle fan, but I can imagine why they were spitting blood, because it's a full-blown attack. They're in Liverpool's half. They're
3 against 1.
I could judges. It was unbelievable. The less said about that, the better. It's not going to get any better. But having actually watched it this morning, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
No, I couldn't believe what I say. As Matthew says, the referee did have a good game yesterday. He did play well, but by the way, he gave the goal. So it was VAR that got involved, who apparently is a Liverpool fan. So I've been told, So, the desperation to try and clear a goal is unbelievable. You cannot be offside from a corner and he's headed it back. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. But judges, we're set. We're corner kings, as I mentioned before. But I think what it is, listen, I would love for Arsenal to play champagne football every week.
Yes.
Completely obliterate teams left, right, and centre. And if people want to call us a new Stoke City, I know, to be fair, Berbatov said it in tongue in cheek when he said it, the way he said it. But if you want to call us a new Stoke City or corner kick merchants, whatever you want to call
Wimbledon, whatever.
Yeah, plough lane, you know what I'm talking about, people and judges. So be it. If it gets us closer to the league title, we end up winning it. Who bloody cares, to be honest with you?
So what? It wasn't saying it last week, were they? At West Ham.
No.
I don't know anyone turning around and calling us Stoke then. Certainly not against Porto, neither, or against Forest. But we get a 2-0 win against a team, by the way, that played like Stoke. No one's mentioned about it. No one's mentioned it.
That's quite convenient, judges. But Judge, I want to talk about some individuals from yesterday. I want to talk about Timber, actually. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Timber, then we're going to talk about David Raya. But Timber, firstly. Now, I said this, and I'm happy to say it again for people who haven't heard me say it, but when we started the first few games of the season, and I said this, if you look at him specifically defensively and the positions that he takes up, it's absolutely first class. Particularly when we played Villa away, we won 1-0. Yeah, people talk about the performance and whatever, but I'm like, if you look at Timber is specifically superb. And he's grown from strength to strength to strength. Left back, right back. Now, Judge, I know they talk about a dilemma about Ben White's got to work his way back in, but I kind of thought about this, and I don't know how you feel about it, and people watching this. If Ben White comes back, there probably is a good chance he could come back in, and I'll tell you why, because Timber's obviously brilliant. He's brilliant at fullback and right back, but he can play left back.
Yeah.
And he was getting in at left back at the start of the season, ahead of Zinchenko, and obviously Calafiori just joined us. So how do you feel about the dynamic, judges, for when White comes back or Timber at right back or left back?
Well, listen, Ben White had some outstanding performances over the last couple of seasons as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the last couple of performances from Timber have been outstanding. Outstanding. You can't deny that. I think he's naturally suited to right back because he's right-footed. But he can do the job on the left back position. Listen, Ben White is going to have to be patient, and the good thing is you ain't got to rush him back at the moment. And
no.
But listen, Ben White will come back in at some stage, whether it be right back or central defence, and will prove that he's a good player, and then that will help us out long term. So. And as you say, I think the great thing about Timber is he can play all the way across the back four. We've got Tommy Asu that can do that. Ben White can play central defence or right side, playing a back three. So there's loads of options for us there, like, you know, and maybe even like, you know, Ben White when he was at Leeds played central midfield. So there's options for it all, not this that. But at the moment, Timber's just took that right back to a different level. Not just with his defending. I loved his aggressiveness. Not dirtiness, it's just the aggression that he does by getting close and making people like Garnacho not turn, leaving a little bit on him here and there, like in a nice way. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. One of the best performances of the night. Again, the goal helps, but take away the goal, he done exactly what he wanted to do. You know, Garnacho is dangerous, never got a kick. You wouldn't want to play up against him because he's physical, he's strong, he's got pace. He's got all the attributes to be top notch, you know. And listen, he's come fantastically well from that knee injury. But do you imagine what he would have been like for us last season? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Now, you make a good point, judges, because the thing is, you look at the displays he's putting in now, and you think, cool, we could have done with him last season. He's brilliant. Listen, we talk a lot about Arsenal and what we get wrong with recruitment.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that. If we look at what we've got right, we've bought 2 centre-halves that were 27 million euros each. 27 million euros each. Fantastic purchases. Timber's about in excess of like 30 million euros, possibly a little bit more. Fantastic signings. And I think Calafiori needs a bit more time to settle in. He's very what's that word I'm looking for? He's very cavalier, should I say. And Mikel's made a big thing of buying particularly defenders anyway, or defensive-minded positions where they can play more than one position. Hence the reason you moved Thomas Partey to right back yesterday, and Timber moved across to left back. But and he completely snuffed out the danger of Ahmad when he came on at halftime, 100%, because you saw Zinchenko was getting a little bit of a going over. But listen, Timber's he's been brilliant. The only thing, obviously, touch wood, people, Arsenal community, is that he stays fit, because obviously when you have that type of injury that he had, him and Thomas Partey are high risk, but that's football, I guess. But judges, Kivy obviously done brilliant yesterday, but I want to give him his flowers as well. Coming in, played a lot of football, and he was really, really good yesterday. But I'm talking to you about David Raya quickly, actually, because I don't want to keep you too long. I watched back the save yesterday again, because I wanted to see it, because it looked good in real time when I watched it at the ground yesterday. But it's a brilliant save, judges. Absolutely brilliant. And I watch him, and not just yesterday. Let me be very, very clear, from sort of the start of the season, or throughout the course of the season anyway. I don't think I've felt more assured of a goalkeeper at Arsenal for quite a few years. He looks what's the word I'm looking for, judges? He looks the dogs something, you know what I mean?
Yes, he's the real deal.
Come in, judges. Sorry, go on.
He's the real deal. Got it wrong about Ramsdale. He's an improvement on Ramsdale. I think that it was the wrong thing. The way they went about it was wrong. I've said this on the Forever Arsenal today. I felt that that put pressure on Raya. It put pressure on Ramsdale. It was just, now that Ramsdale was not there, he's blossomed. Got that pressure.
Like that word, judges. Like that
word. There was a question mark above his shot stopping.
Yeah,
because he didn't really do a lot of them last season, but this season, when it's mattered, he's made that, tick that box, feet wise and playing wise, tick that box. He will make a mistake every now and then, as all goalkeepers do. But assurance wise, he's looked very, very good. And I just think at the end of the day now, you're not comparing him to Ramsdale, you're not comparing him to anybody else. He's the number one, and you just look forward to him playing, and he's been fantastic for us. You have to say that, hold your hands up, but I still say it wasn't the right thing to do. The thing is, look, as you said there, like, you got a situation with Ben White and
Timber.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, what did you just say to me? You said, well, you could play Ben White and put Timber over to the left, or or Ben White can play central defence, or Ben White can play midfield. As a goalkeeper, there's no difference. It's one position or not. It's a different dynamic to any other part of the game, and I think that they got that wrong. If you wanted Raya, then you should have sold Ramsdale last season and not made it an uncomfortable year for all.
Mm. No, well said. I mean, my thoughts on David Raya, at the time, I could see, and it's nothing against Ramsdale. I could see the logic just because I know Arteta wanted him for quite a long time.
That's the key. That's the key.
Yeah,
that is the key.
Yeah, and obviously the goalkeeping coach at Arsenal had worked with Raya before. I think he at Blackburn and at Brentford. But I have to be honest with Raya, and this is a compliment, by the way. He's done better than what I thought he would do. And I just this season I look at him, Lee. I just think that's my bloody keeper, man. And I mean that in the way that
it's nice.
He's raised his level. I think someone put in the chat, is he the best in the Premier League at the moment? I think you're talking about Raya. There's a case for it. The performance he's putting on, because I think for him with goalkeepers it's difficult because you could have a game where you've got nothing to do. Which was the case for him at West Ham until we conceded 2 goals. But, it is what it is. But when you're called upon, do your thing. And he done that. As a fantastic save yesterday when I watched it back. And it's key because that came from the mistake from Zinchenko, giving that.
I hope Zinchenko bought him a bar of chocolate or a Christmas present.
Judges, I think
he'd gone in. What everybody would have been blaming Zinchenko, like, you know what I mean? So he can thank him for that. But listen, that's what goalkeepers are there for. That's what he's there to do, make saves. And he done his job. I thought it was a good save. I don't think it was a world class save, but it was a very, very good save. More importantly, a very, very good time. If they score that, it could have been a massive on the title race. So listen, fantastic save. And and you know what? He's that good. I expect him to make those sort of saves now. Well
said, judges. Well said. Absolutely. The main man. One more thing, judges. I'm not going to keep you longer. People, as I rudely didn't say at the beginning of the stream, absolutely annihilate the like button. If you don't know what to do now, if you don't know what to do by now, people, I'm going to give you a quick reminder anyway. And there you have it, people. A bit. I thought you might like that, judges. A bit of funky music to subscribe to Albert JTV and to obliterate the like button. Not just because it's me, but because I've got my main man with me, aka the judges. Judges, we've got run of games now. So we've got Palace twice. We have Everton, and we have another London derby, which obviously you'll be there for on Sunday. How are you feeling, mate, going into the Fulham game?
Not going to lie, nervous because we're away from home. It's a tough game. They've got a few ex-Arsenal players there that will be wanting to prove one, and I get that. And last season it was an awful performance. I think we've got to eradicate that and rub that from the system. There's not many grounds last season and the season before that I've walked out of feel let down by the players, and that one was one of them. So I want us to go there and make sure we get the win. Listen, this is a game that it's all about winning for me. Just get the job done. I think it's a tough place to go. I think that there is a little bit of inconsistency with them. It'd be interesting to see what they do against Brighton today. But I think it's a real difficult game. Get in there and get out.
Yeah, Fulham's a weird one. They've got some really odd results in the last few games. I mean, they managed to get a result at Spurs, which is quite nice.
They played very well against Spurs. Very well. They play against Spurs. They was really, really good. And that to go to Tottenham and create as many chances as they did and dominate the game as much as they did, you have to give them a lot of credit for that. And then at the end of the day, I know it was only 7 minutes from the end, but you had on another 4 or 5, I think 6 minutes after that. It was a good 15, nearly 20 minutes they had to play with 10 men against the Tottenham side, like that. And they dug in and made it quite comfortable, if I'll be really honest about it. And actually could have won the game with themselves. So, listen, it's going to be a tough game for us. Tough game.
No, you're right, judges, because a lot of people did say even before the United game, not that they thought we'd roll a United over, but they thought it kind of looking a little bit ahead as you do sometimes with games. You're like, the Fulham one, yeah, that could be a bit tricky. But Arsenal, listen, judges, we're in a different position than we was the last couple of seasons. We are the chasers, which is a position that we're not really been in before. Hopefully it'll work for us. Obviously Liverpool dropped a couple of points yesterday. I say dropped a couple of points. It ain't easy to go to St. James's Park, but you have to take advantage. Like you said, they kicked off earlier before than we did, so we knew what we had to do. And obviously City, we're not going to continue the run that they was on, but no. I'm going to be really, really honest. It's quite nice to see them struggle a little bit the last few weeks.
Oh yeah. Long may it continue. I want them to struggle some more. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. But people, we have come to an end on this late Thursday afternoon stream with my main man, Lee Judges. Judges, I love you. I just got in to get to see you yesterday, but I said, you know what? Let me reach out to him and try and get him on, because I've actually finished work early for once in my bloody life. So I thought, let me get Judges on, and he came on. So Judges,
just wait there 1 sec. I've got someone at the door. Wait a sec.
You see that, people? This is what happened, because what can happen on live streaming. But people, I'd like to say, I forgot. Audio listeners, this will go out on the Spotify, on whatever your audio platforms are. This will go out on the Spotify and Apple downloads. And he timed it perfectly. Go on, Judges.
Little Christmas present.
It's not for me, Judges, is it, by any chance?
No, not for you, for myself. I buy for myself. I'm Lee Judges.
You buy for yourself. But Judge, I have to give you a shout out, man. I'll message you privately, but big up to doing the shoot for Lyle and Scott, man. It was beautiful, Judges.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So people,
I'll meet girls and I'll go, I'm a model.
You know, Judges, and I'm sure they believe you, because even I believe you.
I'm not lying.
You're not lying at all. You're not. But yes, Judges, next time I'll probably see you in terms of a game. I will be at the Ipswich game 2 days after Boxing Day.
Okay, well, I won't see. So listen to you and all your listeners and your family and all that. Merry Christmas.
Oh, I see that, people, from the main man himself, the Judge. Like I said, obliterate the like button, subscribe to Albert J TV, and I'm sure you people have definitely subscribed to Lee Judges TV. And if you haven't, then what the bloody hell are you waiting for? But let's get out of here, people. Arsenal are on the march. Another London derby to go on the Sunday. Up the Arsenal. See you soon, people.